Hello everyone and welcome to Intellipaat's live webinar on why to choose software engineering as a career in 2022. Today's webinar is conducted by Mr. Shivam, who has 12 years of experience in IT. He started as an ERP consultant and has been seasoned data scientist for last 11 years, having worked with McKinsey and other Fortune highly ranked MNCs. He is currently working as an ML advisor for one of the leading firms in the world. He has been teaching and mentoring budding data scientists all over the world for last 10 years. So guys, welcome Shivam. Sir, over to you.
Hey, thank you so much. And before we start, I think this is what something was required that I share the screen. Hey, hello everyone. Good evening. I hope you all are doing great. And welcome to this wonderful session of introduction to software engineering, the why, what, and how to do software engineering kind of a webinar where we'll talk about, first of all, what is software engineering, right? Then what is required to become a software engineer. I think these are the two aspects that we'll definitely cover. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, there is a chat option available. Do not hesitate and just drop in your questions over there. I'll try to answer them as soon as I see them, right? My introduction has already been done and let's start. Now, before even we indulge into, this particular topic, let's talk about what is software engineering, right? I know most of you have this preconceived notion that software engineering means writing coding and sitting in front of a laptop, doing click, 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 click for next 8 to 10 hours, right? If this is what you think, you're partially correct. Yes, this is exactly what it is. But what is that something that you do? So I'll explain you in very simple terms. See, we live on the earth, we live on the planet Earth, right? And this planet Earth has two things. It has problems, right? People who create problems. And then there it has second set of people who create solutions for that problem. Majority of the people who are creating solutions for the problem are software engineers. Yes, it is as simple as this thing. Forget about coding, forget about programming languages, forget about these things. Just think of it as it, let's say that there are certain problems in the world. The problem might be, let's say you want your air conditioner, your AC to, let's say, automatically, let's say, increase the temperature at the night, right? Otherwise it will become too cold, right? Or you want your car to, let's say, do a warm start at the morning because you live at a very, let's say, cold place, right? Those kinds of problems do exist in the world. And to solve these problems, right, people will bring up solutions. Now, there are two types of solutions. One is the physical solution that you can go, let's say you can stand up in the night and you can manually pick up the remote of your air conditioner and you can, increase the temperature if you want. Or let's say every morning before even going to office, let's say you give 15 minutes to do a warm start of your car and all those things. The second thing is doing automation, right? That humans are as lazy as we don't think, but we are lazy, right? And we want solutions. We want automated solutions to do all these, let's say, monotonous tasks for us. We don't want to stand up in the night and, let's say, wake up in the night and do all these things. Or I don't want to, let's say, spend 15 minutes just doing a warm start of my car. We want these small, monotonous, everyday repeating tasks to be done by automation. And this is what exactly software engineering tries to achieve. I know most of you are thinking, what? We thought that software engineering was all about building websites and making apps. Yes, that's one of the part, right? It is one of the shining parts that you see, right? This is one of the like majority part that the outer world perceives about us. But software engineering is majorly about solving the problem, and that too through using a computer. So a software engineer can be defined as somebody who's trying to solve a problem, right, by automating it using a computer system. Very simple. I said three terms. I'll repeat again. I said that software engineer is somebody who's, first of all, solving a problem, right? Second, doing automation. And third, achieving it through a computer system. Because somebody has to do the work, right? I mean, you will not wake up in the night, but somebody else has to do that wake up thing and then doing this stuff. That is that computer will do for you, because computers can stay awake for 24/7 and they won't even complain to you, right? This is what exactly, my friends, software engineering is. So one of my friends is a very good question. Is website making a problem solving also? Yes. In terms, if you think, right, yes. Let's say if this is a very basic website called Wikipedia. Now you might think that Wikipedia is not solving my problem. Actually, it is, right? Let's say if you have to study about a certain topic, so you would have, let's say, visited your nearest library, or you would have consulted your professors or somebody else, right? You would have done manually. Now what you're doing is you think of it as a website, but Wikipedia is actually a kind of a like a big dictionary, like a super big dictionary and super big updated dictionary. Dictionaries are, let's say, printed like every year, right? And they become obsolete after a certain time. I mean, not obsolete, but let's say they don't have newer terms into them. They're not getting updated. Whereas, right, you have to buy them every 5 years, 6 years, or 7 years to get the new words also. Whereas Wikipedia is a website which is automating itself, right? Updating itself automatically. And you can just, let's say, do a one click like www.wikipedia.com, and then you can go and search your term and it auto appears for you. So website building is also, my friend, a problem solving, right? It is also solving a problem. One of my friend is saying that can a non-IT background student can do this course? Why not? Actually, I forgot to tell you one thing about myself. I have now close to 10 years of, more than 10 years of experience now into all these things, but I never did a formal IT education or of engineering in, let's say, computer science. I never did computer science engineering. To be very frank, right? I never did that. I am certainly from a very far behind engineering I did. But so the point that I'm trying to make over here, my friend, is that you can be a IT, non-IT. It's not now different for everyone, right? I'll tell you why. See, like how you're communicating, right? How do you communicate? You communicate either in your regional language or in English language or any third language that you have, let's say, learned to communicate to people. Similarly, software engineering is also a way of communicating, right? A human is interacting with a computer system. So does it require a CS or IT degree? If you have it, it is good. If you don't have it, it's totally fine, right? You can still achieve that thing. Coming back to our software engineering. So we understood that, okay, software engineer is somebody who is solving a problem, writing, let's say, some kind of a logic, right, to automate that thing. No, but how do computers understand? See, computers, they know something called as zeros and ones. They understand only zeros and ones. And that is what is called as, let's say, machine language. But we humans cannot, let's say, learn that 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 1 1 0, right? That will become very cumbersome for us. So what we did is, my friends, we said that, okay, computers cannot understand English, which we understand, and humans do not want to go that path of machine language that computers understand. So we bought in something which is in the intermediate state, right? Intermediate state that we can also speak and computers can understand that language. And that is what is called as programming language. So a programming language is nothing but a way to communicate with those systems, right? To tell them that you have to do this, this, and this if this happens, correct? That's the very basic task of what software engineering is. That, let's say, if I click on, let's say, add friend, it should, let's say, add that particular person on my Facebook page. Or let's say if I'm clicking on this particular video, that video should play on a YouTube app, correct? That is what software engineering is. But if you go down further, right, if you go down further, the language over here says that software engineering is designing, writing, debugging, testing, and maintaining softwares. Now let's go them one by one. First of all is that, see, I told you we are solving a problem and we have to build a logic. So see, before even writing the logic, you have to design the logic. I mean, let's say when you go for a war, right, you don't directly jump into a war. You first of all prepare for the war. You prepare a strategy for the war. That's what we have seen in movies, right? Movies. And I mean, we have not gone for war, but we have seen these things in movies. That's what exactly we will also do. We will, let's say we have given a problem statement and now you won't automatically just sit down and just write the code. No, first of all, you'll design the architecture of the code, right? You'll create all the cases that, let's say, if this can happen, then this should happen. If this can happen, then this should happen, right? You'll write down all the cases. You'll design a very firm and very strong logic, first of all. Then second thing is you'll write the code. Then you'll write the code, right? Then you'll test the code. See, whatever you have written might not be solid proof. So what you have to do is you have to test your code. So a software engineer is not just writing code or designing code, but it is also, but he or she is also responsible for testing that particular piece of code also. And not just testing also. Certain times, let's say the code might run today, but tomorrow, because of some change in the external value, or let's say something has changed, right? Your code might fail also. So that is why you have to debug your codes also. It means that, let's say today it is working fine, but tomorrow or day after tomorrow it might break, and I have to sit down and see that where and what is failing. So that is called as debugging the code, debugging that what is wrong with the code. So designing, writing, testing, and then debugging. And then later on maintaining also. See, so if let's say there's a system, right? Let's say you have an electronic system with you, right? Does it work for the lifetime? No, everything has a shelf life, right? And after that, it starts behaving abruptly. That's what software is also, right? You have written a software. Now things will update in the life, right? You remember, right? We used to have Nokia phones. Then we came to Symbian. I don't know if you remember. I'm very old, but then came BlackBerry, right? BBIO. Then came the iOS. Then came this Android, right? And then Android also now you have your I don't know what number we are even at. So things are updating so fast that your software needs to also, let's say, update itself. Now it will not automatically update. It is somebody who's responsible. A software engineer is also responsible of maintaining it and updating it also frequently. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tasks that a software engineer is responsible for. I'll take a pause over here if you have any thoughts or any questions over here, right? So that I can answer them. But if I read this very slowly and let's read it again, right? So on the most basic level, software engineering is designing, writing, debugging, testing, and maintaining the software that instructs a computer to accomplish a certain task. Right. So I told you, right, we're solving a problem and then we'll write the logic of that. That certain task is that logic, right? And this logic can be, let's say, very simple as saving some information or performing some calculations. We'll talk about more of these things, right? That what is typical calculation in software engineering or what logic it is. We'll talk about that. But as of now, these are the 5 things that a software engineer needs to do. Right. While many are self-taught, most software engineers have obtained an undergrad or graduate degree in computer science or computer engineering. That's not like very true. Not majority of them, but yes, some of them have done. But majority of them are self-taught or not from a computer science background. The term that industry uses is either software engineer or a software developer. Don't worry, they are interchangeably used, right? So you don't need to think about that. I am giving this job, is it different from that? No, both of them are similar terms over there. Now coming to the main crux of this particular thing is that what is the concept of software engineering, right? And why do we need this thing? So as I told you, we live on the planet Earth and we have so many things. There are problems that are created now. Technology is solving a lot of issues in the world, and I can answer, let's say, some of them. We'll take very basic examples like Uber. Earlier, let's say if you had to take a taxi to, let's say, travel from a point A to B, what would you do? You would, let's say, go out in the street, you look for a yellow cab if you are in the NYC, or you look for a black yellow if you're in Mumbai in India, right? Or you'll find something or the other, right? If you go on the street and then find that thing, correct? The level of work that you have to do. But now what Uber has done is Uber is saying that you stay at the home, you open up an app, you open up an application, which is, let's say, designed in such a way that it can connect you to all the near taxi, which are let's say taxis or cabs which are around you. It will connect to you. And then you can say that I want to travel from this point A to B, and then they will pick up that particular cab and they'll assign it to you. Correct? Solving a problem, right? Technology has solved a problem for you. Now there are multiple moving parts over here. First of all, when you open up the app, they fetch your location, right? And then they also fetch that, okay, this is the source, let's say, location, and then this is the destination location that you put, right? Then they'll fetch, let's say, from the cab's location, they'll fetch that which are the cabs which are very close to you, right? Then they'll assign that job to that particular cab. The cab might, let's say, take the job or decline the job. Once they let's say, accept the job, they'll tell the itinerary to that particular cab driver, right? The cab driver would come to your location. So all these things, all these moving parts in the background are automated. Nobody's manually sitting there and doing all these things, right? So if somebody is not manually doing it, what is happening in the background? Who's automating all these things? This is done by technology. This is done by the softwares that you have made, right? This is done at the Uber's server. Those logics are running over there, correct? So if tomorrow somebody says to you that software engineering, I've made this kind of app and it does this, it is nothing but it is a component. It is made up of multiple moving components, which are a logic of solving a problem. Correct? Now, softwares also help make life convenient. For example, computer softwares has made it easier than ever to connect with all the friends all over the world using social networks. Right? It's very simple. All of you might have some or the other account, either on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, somewhere or the other, right? Snapchat. So it's making life very easier for you. Earlier, I don't know if you remember, but if you have to make a call to one of your folks or friends or family who are abroad, right? That was a pain, right? Super pain. But today you can just, let's say, open up your WhatsApp and can do a video call to them. You can do a Zoom to them. You can just chat with them all today on Instagram or Facebook, right? So things are solving with use of technology. Now everyone is familiar how much easier it is to drive from point A to B, and thanks to the onboard GPS software. Those of you who uh, don't know GPS is global positioning system, it is the same, the one that helps you to locate your location on the map. Can we change and develop the applications? Obviously, yes. So see, every software engineering is not making a new application, right? Now, Uber is not changing every day, or let's say Instagram is not changing every day. What is happening is, but Instagram is evolving over the time, right? YouTube is evolving over the time. YouTube earlier had some videos, long form videos only, but now they've introduced something called as YouTube Shorts, right? That's a small format videos that are also available. So does it mean that they're making new YouTube apps every day? No, they're updating those things. So those of you who are thinking that we make only new apps, no, you will definitely be editing or changing the existing applications also. Correct? Some of the cool examples that I think I have personally worked on. So my life in the mid of my career, I was actually working with a lot of IoT devices. Those of you who know those of you who don't know, IoT is Internet of Things. It means that those smart things, have you seen those smart refrigerators, smart washing machines, smart AC, smart microwaves, those smart TVs, all these things, let's say they don't have a computer in them, obviously, but they have a small scaled computer over them, which is controlling and which is, let's say, sending some logics to it and then connected through internet, obviously, right? So refrigerators can now tell owners about the spoiled food. This is one of the applications I think you can see in Samsung also and in LG also, that their food can now detect two things. Their refrigerators can actually detect two things, not the food, sorry. Their refrigerators can detect two things. First of all, the availability of that particular food. So refrigerator would, let's say, on the time understand that you rarely drink milk every day in the morning with cereals, right? Because the milk is present over there. So at a certain point, it will start telling you that, see, today it is Friday and you don't have milk with you, go and buy something, right? Before even it gets empty and you become sad, it will tell you, let's say, a day or 2 days prior to you that, see, this particular thing is getting empty and you can buy it. Like in my case, it's ice creams, right? It would tell me that ice cream is getting empty and just buy it. Second thing is that it is not just telling you that the particular entity is getting emptied, but it is also telling you that the quality of that, how that quality of that thing is available or not, right? Smart TVs, I don't think any one of you is not aware about smart TVs. All of you are aware about it, right? Smart TVs, you remember your old TVs, right? Which had one remote, which could only change, let's say, either the volume or the channels. But now TVs are very smart. They can connect to Wi-Fi. They can download your latest episodes. They can download all these things for you, right? How this is happening is that somebody has written that software for you for televisions also. So please don't think that softwares are running only websites. No, softwares are running servers, softwares are running your social networking, softwares are running your hardware devices also, right? Light around town and in your home can be brightened the way they detect you walking in the dark. Exactly. I think sensor-based lightning is also very common over there. Common over here. Televisions make suggestions and record your favorite shows based on your preferences. This, I think none of you needs any introduction. Netflix, Amazon, they're doing all these things, right? The historical episodes that you have watched, or the TV series or the web series that you have watched on them, right? Based on that, they create a interest profile of yours that, okay, this particular person is very interested in this actor, this kind of genre, right? Let's say, in my case, they know that I love medieval periods, like the kind of movies over there, right? The old time movies I love. So they'll try to do all these things for me, and they'll try to recommend those suggestions to me, rather than me going and searching and then finding it out. I'll give you one very simple example. Tell me, my friends, let's say that every day you are watching 10 YouTube videos, right? How many of those videos are actually you went down and you searched for them and then you watched it? Or let's say you open up YouTube and then you say, oh, this one, yeah, recommended video, and then you watch it. Out of 10, how many of them are you actually search for them and then watch it? Out of 10 videos, let's say if you watch 10 videos one day, anyone who wants to tell this thing? I'll tell mine also. 3, 4, 2. Okay, mine is less than 2. I'll tell you. I open up YouTube and certainly I think that whatever YouTube has recommended me, This is exactly what I wanted to watch, right? All these things, my friend, are recommended by a software engine which is which is sitting in the background, and it is collecting all the data based on your interest and then trying to tell you that this is what something you might be interested in. Obviously, with the challenging work that you do and the kind of interesting things that you will do, right, you will also get a very good handsome pay for that. It's written here that for a year of experience you might get somewhere which is 5 LPA, and for a 5 to 10 years of experience you're getting something around 15 LPA on average for you, because software engineering is not let's say very heavily skewed towards field job, right? You're not physically required over there. So I think one of the most favorite remote worked jobs are software engineers. They can remotely work from their home. I am also currently doing the same thing. And it's not just, let's say, that COVID made it possible. No, before even COVID, right? A lot of senior engineering folks would take it at remote casual working environments. Obviously, I think. Okay, so I think one of the questions is already on the chat, that which one is the best software programming language, like Java, Python, C, C++. We'll talk about them, right? My friend, give me some time, right? We'll come to them also. But let's complete, because I want to spend some time with you and talk about this, that how to select which programming language should you choose, right? Now, prerequisites. I think the one of the best prerequisites that industry would say to you is that you go and do a degree into it. But let's say those of you who are into their high schools, I would say yes, this is the good way, that if you take a formal education. But those of you who have not taken formal education, or let's say they have some experience already in this industry and they cannot go back to academia, I would definitely encourage them to take these online courses, right? There are certain online courses, online degrees that you can take and can help yourself learn these things, right? A lot of these programming languages are, let's say, I mean, instructor led are required, because they are typically a little bit difficult, but certain languages are very easy that you can learn on your own also. Now, before even we talk about what is this Ruby, Java, Python, C, C++, right? See, let me tell you, how many languages do we have on this planet Earth, right? We have English, we have Mandarin, we have Hindi, we have Hebrew, we have Spanish. We have so many languages, right? And these languages are based on what people, in which region they are, right? Mandarin in China, US for English, India has Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, multiple languages are in there in India, right? So how do you choose a communication language? What is your preference? Your preference is basically based on in which region you are. Similarly, my friend, when you go and you want to learn a programming language, there are two factors that are very, let's say, typical, on based on which you will, let's say, decide your programming language. The first one being that what is the region in which you want to work. You want to become a software engineer, but you want to become what? Somebody who's making websites, somebody who's making mobile apps, or somebody who's doing data science like me, or somebody who's doing, let's say, IoT devices. What is the domain in which you want to go, right? That is something I think which is important. First of all, you need to understand. Now, some of you might already have an answer to this thing, and some of you might not have. Some of you might say, Shivam, I don't know that whether I want to make websites or apps, because I have never seen this area. So what should I do? For them also, then what do? We learn English language, because English language is one of the most frequently used, and right, and almost everybody understands. That is exactly what I would recommend you, that you start with a universal programming language, a language which is, let's say, widely used across domains, right? That can help you to enter almost any field there. So some of the examples that you can see on the screen also, that are like Ruby, Java, Python, C, C++, JavaScript, right? I'll tell you my career. I started with C++, which is there on the screen, C++, then I went to Python, then I went to Golang, then which is not written over here, it's from Google, Golang, then I went to Scala, and now I am on Julia. Does it mean that you have to learn all these languages? No. It depends on use case to use case that you're solving, right? I am somebody who has traveled from financing to procurement to banking. Then I came into edtech. Then I went into e-com. So wherever I went, right, I had to, let's say, change my programming route also, right? Your communication would change. If you're in Japan, you have to communicate in Japanese only. right? So that's the rule. So does it mean that you have to learn these 5, 6 languages and all these things will be difficult for you? No, the answer is no. See, once you learn one language, the base concept of every language is same. So once you have understood the concept, once you have understood the underlying foundation, it becomes very easier for you to learn the second language, third language, or fourth language. Correct? Now, again, most of you might say that, Shivam, we still don't have our answer. What should we learn? I would generally recommend that you start with Python, right? You start with Python. Why Python? One, because it's one of my favorite languages. And second, it is syntactically very easy. Very easy. It is almost like how you speak English, right? It is not very skewed towards, it's not skewed towards computers, right? It's very skewed towards how humans speak. This is how Python is there. So and Python is so easy that if I give you an example, in US, we have a dedicated program called Scratch, which is made by MIT. And these people took Python as the inspiration because they think that Python is so easy that if we make it, let's say, through a gaming concept, students can also learn. Kids can also learn, not students, kids can also learn. And I recently heard from my nephew that now he has been, they have been taught now Python in their 10th standard also. So I think that Python is one of the very low level entry languages that you should learn. But when I say low level, does it mean that this language is of not any use? No, it's very versatile. You can make websites with Python. You can make mobile apps with Python. As I told you, you can do hardware work with Python, right? IoT devices you can handle. You can even do data science work with it, right? So start with Python. Tomorrow it might happen that, let's say, you are making some websites and you are required to make it in, let's say, some Angular or React, or let's say the backend is in Java. It won't take much time for you to switch also. Correct? Did I answer your question, my friend? Java, Python, C++, right? I mean, you pick up anyone, that is your option, but I would say pick up with the easiest one, right? The Python, and then you can, let's say, take something else also. If Python is not, let's say, the correct answer, then you can choose the other one. But I would recommend those of you who do not have any direction or don't know which field they will go to, for those people, I think Python is a good start. Correct. Now, whenever you are there in the programming language, I told you that you will be doing a lot of problem solving. Now, problem solving has two objectives. One is that obviously you will solve the problem, but you have to solve the problem efficiently, right? With minimum time and minimum resource, and giving maximum impact. That is what your logic should do, right? I mean, problem solving can be done by anyone, right? People can give multiple solutions. Your job is to select the minimum time taking and minimum time resource taking and maximum impact delivering. That is what your solution is. So to help you, right, to help you get the best and the optimal solution, you have certain things called as libraries, right? Or frameworks, which will help you to guide all these things. People already have, let's say, solved these problems, and they have made certain frameworks around it, right? And you can use those frameworks, you can use those third-party libraries, right? All those things you can move over there. The second thing that you might also require, which I'll just skip these two slides and I'll come to this, is called as data structures and algorithm. Now, what is this thing? See, whenever, let's say, you make a home, let's take an example. Let's say you're trying to build a building, right? A building or a skyscraper. What is the most fundamental thing that you require? You require, let's say, building blocks, right? Those blocks on which, let's say, you will, let's say, make your building. That is exactly what data structures is in programming language. Let's say you should have a structure to your, let's say, programming language, that, let's say, this is my entities, these are my nodes, these are my, I won't say the word tree, but let's say those entities you have to define first of all, right? You need to understand that, okay, these are the basic structures, these are the basic things which will, let's say, on which my software will stand. You have to learn those things. And the second thing is data algorithms. Now, what are algorithms? See, I told you that you have to make things in the most minimized manner, right? Minimized time and minimized resource. So there are certain algorithms which are already built by, let's say, some scientists, some mathematicians. They have already built some algorithms over there which can help you solve that problem very easily. So you have to learn that thing. So first is data structure. Second is data algorithms. So first, what you'll do, you'll learn the language. Then you, let's say, to become, let's say, expertise in that particular language, you will learn data structures and algorithms. Correct? Then you have to enhance your skill, do some, let's say, projects, right? And I think not just projects, but let's say end-to-end projects, and try to get some internships. That's what I think my biggest advice is, that see, you can sit at your home and you can make your own projects, and you can think that, okay, I made the best project, but until and unless you work on a real world problem, right? I think still a gap, right? There's still a gap between the books and the industry. So to cover up that gap, I would recommend you to do a internship over there. Right. In internship, what generally happens is that you will go to a real world company, they'll treat you as an employee. You might not be given one of the most fanciest jobs, but you'll understand how job is done. Right. You'll see your mentors over there, you'll see people, how their day-to-day life looks like, and how do they perform those things. Now the two pages that I skipped, right? We'll come back to those two pages. Just one second. These are the two pages, right? Hacker Rank and Stack Overflow. What are these pages? See, Hacker Rank is a place where you can go and you can get problems. So you might have a question to me that, Shivam, I have learned Python now. Now give me some problems. I need to solve those problems, right? I will provide solution to you. So who's going to give you some problems? This is Hacker Rank. Companies come over there and they give questions to people, and students have to solve those questions over there. Now what happens is, one, you're getting free questions and real world questions, right? Real world problems over there. Second, recruiters are there on Hacker Rank, and they would, let's say, identify you from the crowd, and they say, okay, this person is doing this person is in the silver zone, gold zone, platinum zone, whenever this zone is, right? And based on that, HR would, let's say, contact you that, hey, you are doing so good on Hacker Rank, would you be like to be a part of us? On Hacker Rank, companies do recruitment drives also. So what they'll do is they'll give you a problem, and then you have to solve that problem, and you can go and um, get the job. The second website is Stack Overflow. Now, what is Stack Overflow? Stack Overflow is more of a Q&A kind of a website where people can put questions. People like you and me will put questions, and people like you and me only will answer. There's no somebody specialized sitting over there. It's a kind of a community that people, software engineer community that people have made across the globe, right? People from US, Israel, India, China, Australia, everybody is there, right? And they're asking the question and answering it also. So what you can do is, let's say you're stuck at some certain places, right? You can go and search for your question. It might already be there. Or if that question is not already there, you can ask your question, and somebody would, let's say, from any part of the world will help you around over there. That is what the power of Stack Overflow is, right? I would now come back to my original, software engineering professional career pathway. There are multiple companies, my friends: Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. This particular thing is called as FANG in US, here in US. And if you go to China, there's something called as BAT. So BAT means B for Baidu. Baidu is like the Google for China. So there's no Google in China. China has their own Google called as Baidu. A for Alibaba, and T for Tencent. Those of you who don't know, Tencent is the main company that builds majority of the games in the world. It might be your PUBG, it might be your Fortnite. All your major, let's say, gaming is controlled by Tencent over there. So it is called BAT in China and FANG in US. But I think this FANG should now be named as MANG, because Facebook is now called Meta over there. And why did I bought these companies is because these are the tier 1 companies to give you jobs, and they treat their software engineers as king and queens. They treat them like that, right? Very high web pages, good work-life balance, and too much fun. I'll tell you, too much fun. They're working on one of the complex problems, right? So just imagine one thing, that there's a small code that you have written, right? But it is impacting millions of people's life every day. Just imagine, right? Just imagine somebody who might have made, let's say, the like button on YouTube, or somebody who has made the follow button on Instagram. That particular thing is now not just being used by multiple people, but it is now a livelihood for multiple people also. There are multiple shops which are running on Instagram. There are multiple creators who are earning from YouTube. So just imagine the impact that you're bringing, right? So these companies, they give you that particular challenging environment also. You can see in India, Tower Research, it is giving you some 28 LPA as a word quant, and Flipkart, DShaw, Zomato, Salesforce, they're giving you some 15 to 20 LPA over there. I would personally suggest that don't go over the LPA, but rather go for the quality of the work that you will get over there. These are the tier two segments of companies: Oracle, Walmart, JP Morgan, Visa, Qualcomm, Morgan Stanley, Intuit, Sep Labs, Sapient, Tesco. All these are this 10 to 12. Also, you have Citicorp, Dell, Juniper, Cisco, Riverbed, GE, and then you have again more companies, right? Startups are fully waiting for you over there in the market, right? I mean, these are, let's say, the unicorn startups: Uber, Swiggy, PhonePe, Dunzo, but you have more like MotorQ, Rubrik, Sprinkler, Rivago, Zeta, Postman, which are there, Hotstar, MPL. These are there that they're waiting for you. So you can decide that you want to go for a startup, or you want to go for a tier A company, or for a MNC, right? Everybody has their own way of treating their software engineers, and all of them treat them as the best. This is all I had, my friends, for you. I know that you might have certain questions in your mind that, okay, I now understood that I have to start Python, but what is the guide to Python, right? What is my life ahead of Python, and how do I code in, how do I start my journey? So I think for that, right, uh, one of my friend will help you, right? Not me, but one of my friend is going to help you, and he's going to, they're going to help you that how to navigate your path, right? How to best judge your path, right? And how can we help you to get that path? That is what my friend is a great career counselor. He'll help you. And the second resource that I can help you with is our Intellipaat YouTube channel. You can go over there and you can see hundreds of videos over there on almost every topic that we find, right? Every major topic, you'll get it over there. Just go through those videos and you'll get more idea over there. In the meanwhile, if you have any question for me, right, my friends, please do ask. I'll try to help you more. No questions? Okay. So he's here and they will navigate you further.
Good evening, everyone. This is Himanshu Aditya here, Senior Course Consultant from Intellipaat. I hope all of you are doing well. What I'll be doing in this meeting right now is taking you through our software engineering program that we have in collaboration with E&ICT IIT Guwahati. Now, exactly as Shivam explained all the requirements and prerequisites that there is to being a software engineer, our course is made in such a way itself, such that it meets the industry requirements and helps you understand software engineering as well. Now, coming to the details of the training, let me just navigate you through our website as well. I'll be sharing my screen right now. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, you can carry on.
Okay. So let me just take you through our course first. This is our Intellipaat main website. How do you get to the courses? You just click on Explore Courses. You'll see multiple options on this site where you can click on Programming and UI UX. And the very first program that you can see, Software Engineering and Application Development from E&ICT IIT Guwahati. Now I just click on View More, and you can see Apply Now and Download brochure. Now you can see multiple specializations over here. I'll come to that later. But taking you through the very basic details about this training and what kind of curriculum, what kind of syllabus, what projects you'll be doing in this course, I'll be explaining all of that through this video. Now, coming down to the key highlights about the program. The very first thing you can see is 600 hours of applied learning. Now, what do I mean by this? 600 hours of applied learning is the total amount of time that you will need to become a complete full-fledged software engineer through this program. So this will include the classes, the time that you're spending in the live classes, along with the time that you're spending on your own on the projects that we are giving you as well. So you'll have a total of 100 plus live sessions across these 9 months of training. The total course duration is around 9 months, in which the classes will be held over the weekends only, Saturday and Sunday, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. in the evening. And these live classes will be hosted by the IIT Guwahati faculty and industrial experts and Intellipaat trainers as well. Let me just show you a few examples of who will be coming into training. So Bhanu Prasad and Amit Kumar, these are few of the industrial experts who will be coming to train you throughout the whole program. Now, Bhanu Prasad has 14 years of experience in data engineering, and Amit Kumar is also 16 years of experience in design and development. Now, if you want, once you're on our webpage, you can go through their details as well. I can simply click on Bhanu Prasad's profile over here, and you will be redirected to the profile, and you can see all the details about his experience, career, and everything. Similarly, you can go through Amit Kumar's profile as well. Now, coming back to the details of the training. So all these live sessions that you will be attending over these 9 months of period, every live session will also be recorded and then sent to your Intellipaat account so that you have a reference video to get back to. That will sum up to around 300 to 400 hours of self-paced learning, which you will have access to for lifetime. And coming to the curriculum or the syllabus that you'll be covering in this particular course, let me take you through that too. So you can see we have a total of first 10 modules over here. And after the 10 modules, we have a few specializations as well. Now, in the first 10 modules, the very first module that you can see is pre-work, which is Introduction to Python and Linux. Now, as Shivam said, Python is one of the easiest languages to learn because of its versatility and everything. So Python will be one of the basic languages that we're teaching you in this program. Along with that, we'll also be laying down the architecture for software development, that is application development, object-oriented programming, data structures, database design, and all the other major concepts as well. You will also be learning multiple languages like Java and C++ through the training as well. SQL will also be covered. So SQL is not exactly a coding language. It will be a command line script in which you'll be writing commands to get something done, building databases, writing queries. All of this will also be done. Now, once your first 10 modules are complete, you will be given an option of what kind of specialization you want to pick in your career. So you will have options like backend specialization, which is completely backend development. Like, let's say, for example, you're building a web page, how that web page functions. So let's say, I just click over here and a pop-up comes down over here. These functions and everything is designed by the backend specialization. Also, if you want, you can go for full stack specialization as well. Full stack is like a combination of backend and front-end development, where you will be learning Node.js, React.js, AngularJS, HTML, CSS, all of these coding languages together, such that you can create a web page on your own. Front end meaning how the design looks. So this program highlights that you see over here, it's in blue color. This apply now is in orange color. All of this is a job of a front end developer, and back end obviously I explained to you. So that is what you'll be going through in full stack web development. Now, if you want, you can go for cloud computing and DevOps as well. Cloud computing is basically like, database management and the cloud security, and all of this will be taught you in cloud. So the main technology that you'll be using over here is Amazon Web Services. That is a cloud technology that you'll be learning. Along with that, the frameworks of DevOps will also be taught to you, like Docker, Jenkins, Maven. All of this will be covered in DevOps. And how to use AWS and DevOps together in an integrated tool called AWS DevOps, that will also be taught to you in this program. Along with this, you will also be going through data science. Now, data science will be taught to you using Python. Not only data science, machine learning will also be covered in this, and also the libraries of data science like NumPy, SciPy, Pandas, visualization using Matplotlib. All of these will also be covered in data science. And along with that, we will also be going through cybersecurity. So cybersecurity will have two parts. One is attacking and one is defending. Both of these will be covered in the ethical hacking program that you see over here. So everything that you need, cryptography, cloud security, ethical hacking, enumeration, everything will be covered, like from basic till advanced in cybersecurity. Now, it's not just that you're going through this curriculum, in a theory-based format. You will also be working on multiple tools or softwares as well to get you used to all these technologies. Some of the tools that you'll be using is mentioned over here. So if you have a look over here, we have around 15 to 20 tools that you will be using throughout this whole program. Now, in these tools, for some of these tools have paid access, some of these are open source. So whatever software access that you require to to practice all your projects on in this training, that will be provided by Intellipaat itself. You need not pay anything extra for the software or anything. That will be provided by Intellipaat. The setup, installation, licensing, all of that will be done from our side. Also, we'll be going through multiple industry grade projects, a total of 50 plus industry grade projects and case studies to get you accustomed to all these tools as well. So coming to the projects part, so you can see we've segregated our projects into beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Now, why have we done so? We have seen that around 50 to 60% of the students who are coming to our courses, they are coming from a non-technical background itself. So, people from students from civil, mechanical, electrical, finance, these kind of students. So everything that we need to teach you has to be absolutely from scratch, so that everyone can understand what is going on in the class. So everything will be taught you from a beginner level. Also, with the number of projects that you're doing and the quality of the projects, since all of these are industry grade projects that you're working on, you'll be receiving equivalent to 1 year of industry experience immediately after you finish this 9-month training program. So if you are going for, let's say, any kind of placement or any kind of interview after you finish this training, you're going out as an experienced candidate, not as a fresher. And you'll also be receiving a certificate from IIT Guwahati to prove the same. Coming to the certificate part, one second. If you scroll down from key highlights, see, this is the certificate that you'll be getting from IIT Guwahati in Intellipaat. Now, for getting the certificate at the very end of the program, you'll be writing a certification exam as well. In that certification exam, you have to score a minimum of 60% and 60% in all of your quizzes as well. The quizzes will be held after every module is completed. So you have to maintain an average of 60% in all of them. And immediately after that, you can get the certificate from our end. Now, through this certificate, we'll also be helping you with the placements from our end as well. So it's not like, we're just finishing the training and not helping you with any kind of job assistance or anything. We do have career services from our end as well. So first thing under job assistance you can see is 3 guaranteed interviews. Now you are guaranteed a minimum of 3 job interviews immediately after you finish the program. Why I'm mentioning minimum is because this is completely merit based. So let's say if you're getting around 60% only in the certification exam, in that case you can qualify for these 3 interviews. But let's say if you score more, around 75 to 80%, you can qualify for around 5, 8, as many job interviews you're getting, and as many companies want you as a software engineer in their company. And but before you're going for any of these interviews, you'll be like, what kind of positions you'll be applying for? Let me show you that too. So these are just a few of the positions that you'll be applying for after you finish this training. Software engineers, front end and back-end developers, data engineer. These are the kind of positions that you'll be applying for. Now, you will need some work experience as to what these positions actually do or what kind of work they're actually doing. So for that exact reason, in our career services, you have profile building, which is hosting career-oriented sessions with 20 plus live interactive sessions with the industrial experts. So in these sessions, you will be given the necessary work experience that you need to have before going for any kind of job role. And this will be taught to you from the industry experts whom we saw in the mentor section before. Along with this, we'll also be building your resume, your LinkedIn profile in our, Intellipaat, Intellipaat services itself. In your resume, we'll be mentioning the projects you've done throughout the whole training. If you have a LinkedIn profile, in that case, we'll be mentioning what kind of skills and what kind of technologies you've learned throughout the whole course. And from our side, we'll be forwarding your resume to the companies we are tied up with. Currently, Intellipaat is partnered with around 84 plus MNCs and 500 plus independent companies. All the major companies that Shivam showed to you during the presentation, we're partnered with them as well. So if you are looking for jobs in MNCs or independent companies or startups, we can help you with that as well. And before you go for any kind of interview, we're also helping you with the interview preparation as well, mainly the mock interviews. So what kind of questions to expect, how to answer them, all of this training will also be provided from Intellipaat. So starting from basic training until you're placed, everything will be covered in the same course itself. So that's all the main details about our training. Is there any queries or questions that you people have for me? So if you do not have any questions, then I'll leave it up to the Intellipaat support. They'll tell you how to come back to our courses. Thank you.